So today in class, we're going to be learning about the four seasons. Before we start getting into it, we're actually going to watch a read aloud over the book A Song for All Seasons by Margaret Wise Brown. Um, we're just going to play this, and then you'll play the YouTube clip. It's 2 minutes and 45 seconds, so it's not that long. It's um, a book about the seasons and like the characteristics that are in it and what kind of objectives they can do so we can help them with what's going to happen. Afterwards, you're just going to explain to them, you're going to ask them, what were our four seasons that you saw in there? And then you would write down four seasons, and then you would write down whoever raises their hand, you would write down what they say. So they could say fall or they could say autumn. Autumn and fall are the same thing. Winter, spring, summer. So those are our four seasons that we're going to be learning about today. So, in order for us to understand and get the four seasons, we're actually going to make a booklet. So I'm going to show you mine right now, and then I'm going to help you get yours together. So on my front page, I have My Four Seasons by Miss K, and then I put my date up here. You can make sure this page right here, you can decorate it however you want, but you have to make sure that you have My Four Seasons on there because this is going to go in your science notebook. So we need to make sure that we have this. And then you also have your name. That way, whenever I go and check, I know whose booklet this is, and then also the date. So that way we remember when we started learning about the seasons. This page right here is going to stay blank. So as I was saying, this is going to be your front page. You're going to leave this page blank, and then we're going to start on page 1. So for page 1, we have summer. You're going to write summer at the top. And then down here at the bottom or anywhere around the page, you can write some facts or some characteristics. I really want 3 characteristics whenever I look at your booklet. So from characteristics, I put June 20th. June 20th is when the summer solstice starts. So you can put that if you want to. It's also hot during that time. During the summer, it's sunny, it's bright. And then I put some fun facts on what some fun things we can do during the summer, which is go to the beaches because it's hot, and water parks. Another thing that I put is during the summertime, we don't have school, so I put no school. Alright, so then you're going to just flip your page to the next one. On page 2, you're going to write fall. For fall, you can also write autumn if you want to here at the bottom, or you can write autumn up here and put fall down here. It doesn't matter. Remember, they're both the same thing. They both mean the same meaning. It's just one means fall, one means autumn. A lot of people just like calling it autumn, or a lot of people just call it fall. So you can write also same thing, 3 characteristics, fun facts if you want to. So I put September 22nd because that is when the fall equinox happens. Fall 22nd. It's cool during fall. Also harvest. Harvest is a characteristic because it's up the fact that that's a lot of the times whenever we harvest pumpkins because we're getting ready for Halloween. Also, a lot of people just harvest things so they can save it for the summer, and that way it doesn't get ruined during the summertime. Harvest is used a lot to describe fall. So just remember it's like a description of fall. Also, leaves are falling from the trees. That's whenever the leaves in the trees are actually changing to like a brown, a yellow, a reddish, an orangish color around your homes or around going to school or on the playground. You can see our leaves are falling. Also, I put for a fun fact on mine, I put brown because whenever I think of fall, I think of the color brown because of those fall colors that I see all the time whenever I'm driving to or from or going home. For page 3, you're going to have winter on it at the top. Also, remember 3 characteristics, some fun facts if you want to. And then you're also going to, I forgot to put this on the other ones. You're going to write you're going to either pick an image out of a magazine, you can draw your own, or you can even be creative and work together on doing it. You're going to put an image on each of the pages. So for summer, I put the sun. For fall, I actually got a leaf from my own house and glued it onto the paper because this leaf is brown, so it reminds me of fall. So you're actually going to do the same thing for all of the pages. You're going to write 3 characteristics, some fun facts, and then you're going to draw an image. So for winter, for 3 of the characteristics, I put December 21st. That is also the winter solstice. I put snow because during that time it snows. It might not snow here in Texas all the time, down here in Houston, but it does snow in Dallas, it does snow in New York, it does snow in Colorado, Ohio, Michigan. It snows all the way up there in those states. Also, another characteristic that I put is the earth is the closest to the sun during the winter time. I didn't know that, so whenever I looked it up, it was really nice. For a fun fact, I put ice because we do get a lot of ice down here. If you listen to the weatherman or the weatherwoman in the mornings with your mom and dad, they'll say, be careful of driving during this morning because there might be ice on the ground. Or buses might be running late because of ice. Just be very cautious. So that's the reason why I put ice, because ice is really dangerous and we need to make sure that we understand that during the winter time, ice is something that we see a lot of. And then I put a snowflake because of snow. All right, for your last page, page 4, you're going to write spring at the top, and then you're going to do the same thing. 3 characteristics, a fun fact or a fun thing you can do, and then an image or a picture. For spring, I put flowers because that's when flowers bloom. I put butterflies because that's when butterflies, you see a lot of butterflies, a lot of squirrels come out. You see the birds coming back from the south. March 20th is whenever spring starts, and that is the spring equinox. So, it's March 20th. Sometimes it feels a little bit earlier, but spring really doesn't start until March. Also for another characteristic, I put green trees because that's whenever we see all of the trees come back and they're green, they're beautiful. We see flowers bloom on some of them. Like in Washington, they have these trees called cherry blossoms, and they only bloom during the month of March, April, and then they stop blooming in May. And they have flowers on them, so that's the reason why I put green trees, because that's whenever our trees come back and they don't look so empty. It's also very cold during the springtime. During the springtime, you can also put on there for a fun activity. You can put that you went gardening. You planted flowers in your garden, and you planted flowers with your mom and dad. Also, during this time, during springtime, a lot of people do spring cleaning because it's spring. It's starting a whole new season. It's normally getting them ready for the summertime since it's hot, and a lot of people don't like to clean during the summer because of the heat. Now, you're going to do this, and then actually the way we're going to do it is you're each going to get 2 papers of construction paper. You're going to fold your construction paper, so I would tell them to get up at one table at a time, call one table, and then they would go together in the groups of 4 to go pick up 2 construction papers each. And then it would do that for each table. And then after they get back, I would help them fold it. So I would tell them, get your 2 construction papers, line them up as perfectly as it doesn't have to be perfect, but just line them up. And then you're going to fold them like a hot dog in half. Once you do that, you're going to crease them in the middle. And then you're going to go ahead and start on your first page like I did mine. You're going to say my 4 seasons. You're going to open it up. You can draw it, write it. Make sure you put your name and your date so I know who you are whenever I look at it in your science notebook. And then you're going to do your page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. And then they're going to do that in their booklets. That's the reason why there's 2 different colors, because the first color will be their cover, and then these 2 pages will be for their pages so they don't get messed up. That's how I did mine, to show them that way it's more relatable. And then I'll give them time to do this. They'll work in groups. They can also do it on their own if they want to. They'll each have a magazine at their tables so they can cut out, if they want to, instead of drawing, images to relate to that season. And then once it's getting closer to the time for the students to go home, go to their next class, I would tell them, okay, 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. They would say, all eyes on you. And then I would tell them, okay, so now what you're going to do is, now that you finish My 4 Seasons book, you're going to get your glue stick and you're going to glue this back page onto your science composition book. Once you do that, you're going to have 4 index cards on your table. They're going to be face down. Just go ahead and grab one of them. So they would grab one. On the index cards, each, they will have 1 season on there. So I picked up winter. So on winter, if the student gets winter, they would have 1, 2, 3 written on them, and they would just write, they can write a characteristic, a fun fact, or an activity that they can do. And once they do that, that's their exit ticket. They will take their booklet, and on the very last page of their booklet, which would be their title page color, they're going to get their glue stick and they're just going to glue this onto it in the back. That way, whenever, and I would just explain to them, the exit ticket will go on the back of it. That way, whenever I go and check your science notebooks, I know that you knew that season that you're talking about. So that's how they would do it. And then they would just leave it, put it in their science notebook, put it there, and then they would go on to the next class. And then that's how I would make sure that they understood what season they were talking about and they understood what was going on. And then I would just go in at the end of the day and just look at all their science notebooks and see if they have this exit